In 1987, the show Full House premiered on ABC. The show depicted a local news anchor living in his humble 4-bedroom Victorian San Francisco home, with his 3 daughters, his brother-in-law, and childhood best friend. The youngest daughter, Michelle, was only an infant in the first season, and to comply with child labor laws, the role was filled by 2 7-month-old twin girls. It was initially unclear whether these 2 would actually remain in the role, though, because reportedly these unprofessional babies would not stop crying during the filming of the pilot. However, the team at Full House soon found out that no one could match the acting prowess of these 2 infants, and the 2 remained alternating the role of Michelle for the remainder of Full House's 8-year run. Initially, the show did not want viewers to know that the role of Michelle was played by twins, thus the credits initially read that Michelle was played by Mary-Kate Ashley Olsen, but pretty quickly after the show started to get more popular, a viewer poll named them the 2nd most popular TV stars. Number 1 was Bill Cosby. It was then that the Olsen parents brought on Robert Thorne, their lawyer and manager, to negotiate a bigger salary for the twins on the show. But Robert Thorne didn't stop with just their Full House salary. He also went on to co-found Dual Star Entertainment with the then 6-year-old Olsen twins. This was their own production company, which they would go on to inherit at 18 years old. Through this production company, the Olsen twins began producing direct-to-video content, magazines, video games, dolls, fashion lines, and more, all centered on the rising star of these 2 young girls. By the time the girls had turned 18, Dual Star had generated over $1 billion in sales, and Mary-Kate and Ashley were certified teen icons. Growing up, at least a solid year of my life was consumed by my Mary-Kate and Ashley obsession. I read all of their mystery books, which I primarily got because they came with collectible Mary-Kate and Ashley pictures that I could tape on my wall, and I of course watched as many of their movies that my mom would let me rent from Blockbuster. And because I'm really feeling like it's time to make some selfish content, finally, I decided I wanted to watch all of the Mary-Kate and Ashley movies and rank them for you all so you can all roast my opinions in the comments. But first, of course, some mandatory ground rules and some expectations. Mary-Kate and Ashley made and appeared in a lot of projects in their youth, and if we include all of their direct-to-video series, they were in over 40 movies. But for this list, I am only counting their 90-minute feature films. That means no You're Invited series, no Pizza Song, and I don't want to hear any complaints about it, and no Adventures of Mary-Kate and Ashley. Also, in these movies, Mary-Kate and Ashley are never called Mary-Kate and Ashley. They're like Kylie, Chloe, Shane, Riley, a bunch of random white girl names. But we're not gonna waste our time with that. In basically every movie, they are playing caricatures of Mary-Kate and Ashley's real personalities, which I'm sure had no psychological effect on these 2 teenage girls whatsoever. Generally speaking, Mary-Kate will play the free spirit tomboy character, often styled with more like cool tones, whereas Ashley usually plays the girlier type A personality while dressing in more pinks and reds. There are some exceptions to this rule, which I will happily point out, but generally speaking, that is how you tell these 2 apart in these movies, and that is how they are portrayed. And third, there's really only one of these movies I actually have a strong memory of watching all the time as a kid, which I will get into. And so a lot of these movies I'm seeing for the first time, or it might as well be the first time I'm seeing them, so I don't necessarily have the childhood nostalgia like driving my ranking here. And this list isn't necessarily ranking whether these movies were objectively good, quality cinema. I mean, they're not necessarily Oscar bait. My ranking is going to be a combination of 1, how much fun did I have watching the movie? 2, the plot premise, if there is any. 3, fashion, because let's be real, that's a huge part of this entire franchise. And 4, just my general, own, subjective, unexplainable vibes. And if you disagree with any of my rankings, that's fine, I guess. Some people have to have bad taste. We can all be friends, alright? And with that, are we ready to jump into the franchise? But before we continue, a brief word about today's sponsor, Parade. Y'all, I'm 25. I simply refuse to spend these precious few years I have left on this planet being uncomfortable. Underwire bras, I simply refuse. And that is why I am so excited to be working with Parade. Not only are their products super stretchy and comfortable, but they're also a brand with sustainability and inclusivity in mind. I was so excited to be able to stock up on just some staples I can wear every day, like this Support Lift Scoop bralette, which I got in the color Potion, and I also am wearing right now in the color Maple. These bras are seamless and the elastic is super stretchy, so it basically feels like you're wearing nothing, but it still provides all of the lift and support you would want from a traditional bra. I also got the Invisible Sculpt Hip Hugger in the shade Poseidon, which is made from the same seamless universal material, so it's super stretchy, super breathable. But it's not just comfy, the Universal line is also the first carbon neutral seamless underwear, and is made from rescued materials usually wasted in the production process. And right now through November 29th, you can get access to some of the best deals Parade has had all year. Through November 29th, everything on the website is 30% off, but with my code you get 50% off site-wide. So you get a better deal than anyone else out there. You're welcome, but definitely act fast because a lot of their styles sell out really quickly, and this is a great chance to either stock up on some basics or get something a little fun. Thank you to Parade for sponsoring this video. Be sure to check them out, and let's get back to it. Number 14, To Grandmother's House We Go. Of all the movies I had to watch on this tier list, I think this was the only one to make me genuinely, irrationally angry throughout my entire viewing experience. And I feel bad saying that because this is their first movie, so it really does feel like I'm just getting angry at actual babies. They were 6 years old when they were making this, but the babies didn't write the script. They're not responsible for this monstrosity. And I know already some of you are out there being like, oh, Ashley, this was my favorite childhood movie to watch at Christmas time. So cute, so nostalgic. How could you say these things about this adorable movie? Have you watched this movie recently? Didn't think so. This film at least is unique in the sense that it's their only Christmas movie, and it starts out with what will be a classic Mary-Kate and Ashley premise. Dead parents. Mary-Kate and Ashley love a dead parent. Or I guess an absent parent. I guess it's not really explained what happened to their dad in this movie. But regardless, Mary-Kate and Ashley live with their single mom, and these girls, God bless them, they are just absolute menaces. They're pouring oatmeal on each other's hands. They're poisoning their dog with brownies. And this poor mom just can't catch a break. The mom works at a local convenience store, and every day while she's just trying to earn a living, support her family, this man, Eddie, comes in and hits on her because, she's at work. She can't walk away from this awful conversation.
Well, see there, Rhonda, you really do care about me. I tell you, why don't you come over to my house tonight? You can cook me some dinner.
See, the movie really wants us to be charmed by this guy, but then the film goes on to only show him just being the most awful person the entire time.
For the cowgirls too, black coffee.
Mister, you killed our snowman!
Whoops. Right. But hey, it's 65 degrees out here. He would have been a puddle by noon.
So no, actually, I will not be charmed by this bad man. I'm 25. My frontal lobe is fully developed. I'm not falling for that. And of course, once Eddie realizes that the woman he's been harassing at her place of work has children, suddenly he doesn't want to sexually harass her anymore. Isn't that weird? Probably just a coincidence.
Oh, well, I gotta roll. Kids, huh? Boy. See you, Rhonda.
Eddie, this is the first time you didn't hit on me.
I gotta go.
But anyways, Mary-Kate and Ashley overhear their mom having a breakdown in the kitchen because she's just exhausted. She has to work on Christmas Day. She has to talk to this rat man, Eddie, every day. And then after all that, she's got to go home and take care of Mary-Kate and Ashley. The woman just needs a break. So the girls naturally decide for Christmas they're going to run away to their grandma's house, to grandmother's house we go, to give their mom a well-deserved break. So at first the girls just bike around their block for a little bit, then they end up on a bus and go downtown. And then the girls end up sneaking in the back of Eddie's delivery truck in the hopes that he will drive to their grandmother's house. Eddie finds them in the back of his truck, and he's like, man, I sure hate being around kids. Kids are no fun.
How come you don't like kids?
Because you're little. You don't know nothing, you haven't done nothing, and you got nothing to say.
You know what's actually fun? Hitting on women who have no choice but to politely sidestep my advances. Now that's fun. But he ends up taking them for ice cream, and because he's super into the lottery, he gets a lottery ticket, and the girls convince him to use their birthday as the lottery number.
Tell you what, you can help me pick my numbers. When's your birthday?
June 13th, 1987.
But just when Eddie is about to bring the girls back, two criminals, the FPD bandits, take Eddie's delivery truck with the girls and their lottery ticket still inside.
Sir, you dropped your fanny pack.
Those things come loose all the time.
Thank you very much!
I love it when you get physical, sure.
Not now, Harv. Get in the truck.
And Eddie, being the fuck up that he is like, I'm sorry, I'm just a baby. And while this distraught mother is reporting this all to the police. Eddie still has the nerve to turn on the TV to see if his lottery numbers are a winner.
That's Sarah, that's Julie, that's Monkey.
Speaking of stuffed stockings, some lucky lottery player could be quite a bit richer if their Christmas wish comes true. And here's June with the numbers.
Here come the winning numbers for tomorrow.
And it turns out the lottery ticket that the girls have qualify him to spin for the jackpot. And only then does he actually care about these two missing children that he is at least partially responsible for them being kidnapped right now.
I want to help you find your girls.
Since when?
Since I was just thinking about all the fun that I'd had with the girls, and we bought a lottery ticket, and it's a winner. Wouldn't you know it? I mean, that ticket must be in one of their purses.
And even then, while the police are sending out an alert for these missing children, Eddie interrupts the cop and is like, "Hey, can you give me a ride home?"
Two missing girls, Julie and Sarah Thompson.
Excuse me, can I catch a lift home?
But the FPD bandits call up the mom and they're like, "Hey, we'll give you your kids back if you give us $10,000. And Eddie is like, "Brilliant idea. Let's pawn off a bunch of merchandise from my delivery job and we'll just pay it back when I win the lottery jackpot." So Eddie and the mom go to meet the bandits, but before they get over there, they run into a cop just doing classic cop things.
"Well, it is Christmas Eve. I guess I don't have to shoot you. But I might if you don't laugh at my jokes."
But of course the cop thinks that Eddie and the mom are the actual FPD bandits. Perhaps because they did steal and sell $10,000 worth of merchandise based on Eddie's genius plan. But the mom trades $10,000 for the little girl's bags. I don't know why they were trading for the bags first and not for like the actual girls, but perhaps I shouldn't be victim blaming this overworked mother who just wants her kids back and has had to deal with Eddie this entire movie. And Eddie of course is like, "Yes, I got the lottery ticket." And the mom is like, "Fuck you, my children are still missing and all you care about is the money."
We gotta find my girls.
Right, because I can be back by 6.
That money is all you care about, isn't it? You got your ticket. Here's your hat. Just go.
And Eddie's like, I didn't think she'd get mad at me for only caring about the lottery ticket. But then, through a series of contrived events that don't really matter, the girls end up on Santa's sleigh set up at this festival, and for some reason it is a fully functional carriage with live horses. The horses get spooked, and the girls are now driving out of control towards a cliff. I didn't mention it earlier because I hate Eddie, but Eddie this whole movie has been talking about how he has this like cowboy fantasy of chasing down bad guys on a horse or whatever. And so Eddie gets all excited to fulfill his weird little manifest destiny fantasy and jumps on the carriage, saves the girls. Honestly, when I saw the cliff they were headed to, I was like, please movie, please have the guts to just let Eddie fall off that cliff. Have everyone else be safe, but please, just let him go. But no. And wouldn't you know it, Grandma's house is right next to where the horses stopped. Now that is the magic of Christmas. But before we can celebrate, the police have to come in and traumatize these two young children by arresting their mom and Eddie right in front of them.
That's them, hugging.
You're both under arrest.
And just when they're about to be taken away, the FPD bandits are like, "Oh wait, actually, we're the bandits. Yeah, sorry."
Officer! Officer, you've got the wrong people.
Those are the kidnappers!
Yeah, the FPD bandits.
It's all true, officer.
So then Eddie and the girls go to the lottery event, and pre-college admissions scandal Lori Loughlin is there. Pre-anti-gay Hallmark movies Candace Cameron Bure is there. And Bob Saget, he's there too.
We got a winner!
What do you know? You are so cute. It is a winner!
It's my ticket, I'm the winner!
And wouldn't you know it, Eddie wins the jackpot, he kisses their mom, and that's how this movie ends. Even though the girls are very cute in this movie, if not a little racist, Eddie completely ruined my viewing experience. I am here to watch the it girls of the 90s and the 2000s. I did not sign up for Eddie, and so this movie is easily in last place, by a mile. Number 13, Switching Goals. I think if there was ever an AI-generated Mary-Kate and Ashley movie, it is Switching Goals, which this movie came out like 20 years ago, very ahead of their time. They're twins, but they're so different, and they switch places and learn a valuable lesson through the power of sisterhood. I mean, that is the movie. So it starts out with the girl's mom giving out psychic readings in some culturally questionable headwear.
Go for the fresh start. You're going to find love. You're going to find support. You're going to find profound happiness.
And you may be wondering, does that come back or have any bearing on the plot whatsoever? No. No, it does not. In this movie, Mary-Kate is the ultimate tomboy, an elite athlete.
Oh, come on, Dad. We've won every other event. Can we just sit this one out?
No way!
And their dad, not so subtly, likes Mary-Kate way more than Ashley. You know, because Mary-Kate isn't all gross and feminine like Ashley.
But I predict that Dad will never choose me to be on his team.
And the mom very reasonably says to the dad, you have to stop pigeonholing your daughters. There's more to Mary-Kate than sports and more to Ashley than dresses. I will say that line is a little ironic considering the cottage industry these filmmakers built around typecasting Mary-Kate and Ashley for the entirety of their youth that exact way, but whatever. And the dad's like, meh, why would I make an effort as a parent to treat my daughters equally? I'm just a goofy little guy. But there's trouble afoot. The soccer league he coaches is going co-ed.
Are you telling me there are going to be girls in our league?
This poses a threat to our very existence. Tears. Fashion. Their moms.
How is this man, a father of 2 daughters, supposed to handle coaching girls? And also Michael Cera is here.
Watch it! I have a very delicate bone structure.
That's interesting. My cousin Maury has a delicate bone structure.
Who cares?
Because the mom earlier was like, hey, stop being mean to your less athletic daughter, the dad picks Ashley first to be on his new soccer team, and Mary-Kate ends up on like the dud team, and no one is happy about it. So Mary-Kate and Ashley go up to their dad, and they're like, hey, how about Mary-Kate and Ashley switch places? That way Mary-Kate can still slay at soccer, Ashley can still chill out on the loser team, and Dad, you won't be forced to spend any more time than necessary with your daughter Ashley. And the dad is like, OMG, great idea, guys. I hate Ashley so much.
Okay, because I'm doing this for you guys. This isn't some way for me to get Sam on a team just so I can win a few silly soccer games.
And even though they're only switching places for soccer practices, somehow Mary-Kate does end up on a date with a boy who thinks that she is actually Ashley, and Mary-Kate has a crush on the boy, but the boy has a crush on Ashley, and he's going on a date with Mary-Kate, but he thinks he's going on a date with Ashley. It's all very Shakespearean. Meanwhile, there's this other boy on the soccer team who hates girls.
Can you say, block that kick?
Why?
Because that's what you mammy-pammies gonna be chanting when they demote you to cheerleaders.
So naturally, he's Ashley's love interest for this movie.
Maybe I am kind of woozy, but I always did find you kind of cute.
You're not so bad yourself.
What did Ashley do to the writers of this movie? But the mom actually finds out almost immediately that the girls switch places, and it's like, hey, this is kind of fucked up.
Let me explain.
No, Jerry, you let me explain, because you see, when one trades one's children, there are no explanations.
So they actually unswitch, like halfway through the movie. And now the mom is coaching the loser team with Mary-Kate, and the dad is stuck again with stinky Ashley. But it turns out Ashley is actually an incredible goalie. Maybe she's not such a useless child after all. The game is all tied up until the last second Ashley blocks Mary-Kate from scoring the winning goal.
It's sister against sister, God! The kick is up! Block! Such an amazing save!
It's a tie, still. And the mom is like, all right, well, let's go into overtime. We have to finish this game. And the dad is like, nah, I think I learned my lesson about hating my daughter. I'm done.
So why don't we just go right into an overtime period?
I don't think so.
What do you mean? Nobody won.
I don't know about that.
And that is switching goals. I realize the arc of this movie is meant to be a dad overcoming his misogyny, but this movie is still so weirdly misogynistic. I just feel bad for Ashley the entire time. And not to mention, they're mostly just wearing soccer jerseys this whole movie, so we don't even have fun outfits to save it. Just bleh. Didn't like this one. Number 12, Getting There. Getting There is one of Mary-Kate and Ashley's later movies. The girls are 16, and this movie instantly hooks you. Now that is cinema, I tell you. This movie starts out with Mary-Kate and Ashley on their 16th birthday. And oh my gosh, they get a vintage red Mustang to share. When is all of Hollywood going to apologize to me for giving me such unrealistic expectations for my 16th birthday? Mary-Kate and Ashley are over here getting sports cars, and I just went to play laser tag with my friends. Well, The laser tag was a choice, wasn't it? But anyways, this car is actually coming at the perfect time because Mary-Kate and Ashley are about to road trip from LA to Salt Lake City with all of their friends, boys included, all by themselves. Yes, their parents are paying for them to drive 10 hours with teenage boys to a luxury resort in Salt Lake City. These movies really had a way of making 12-year-old girls think, what am I doing with my life? Now I will say, love Mary-Kate and Ashley. Love the girls. They're a little infuriating in this movie because half of the runtime is the girls just struggling to get to Utah and they cannot do anything right. So the boys immediately blow their tires at a drive-thru.
What's wrong, bro? No hot sauce! I'm not about breakfast burrito minus the flame!
And the girls get their luxury car immediately stolen.
Our car is stolen! Even worse than that, how are we gonna break this to our parents? No sailing, right, Gilligan? Relax, Taylor. I mean, this is all part of the great adventure.
Their parents, who are somehow not mad about all this, are like, don't worry, babes. Just fly out tomorrow on our dime. It's fine. So then the girls accidentally get on the wrong plane. They go to San Diego when their connecting flight is in San Francisco.
What, is this the screw-up part of your so-called adventure? I hear Shamu is hype.
And the boys are on a different plane. They also end up in like Santa Barbara, and these harvesters are like, okay, dumb boys, we'll help you get to where you need to go, but y'all help us with our job since we're doing you a favor. And the boys say this.
Dude, we're doing migrant labor in Oxnard.
No kidding, this is tough work.
I'm cutting out a lot of the boy plotline here, but trust and believe, these boys are certified helpless himbos. And yes, they're a little bit racist because this is a Mary-Kate and Ashley movie. Somehow the group gets back together and they're like, okay, we are going to take a bus to Las Vegas.
Got a solution. We'll take the bus. A bus?
And then another flight out of Vegas to Utah. Sound good? Great. Well, of course, half the group gets on the wrong bus and ends up in the middle of nowhere.
Where are we? This isn't Vegas!
Not cool. Not cool.
I think they do have cell phones in this movie, but they don't work super well, and oh my god, I think if you just got on the wrong bus during this time, you were just dead. You were never heard from again. This is my nightmare. So one group is just kind of fucking around in Las Vegas.
You must be cute, Elvis.
Oh, man, you pinch me one more time, I might have to get all shook up and dance on your blue suede shoes.
And the other group runs into this girl who works on an orange farm and agrees to help drive them.
This is our ride.
Hey, looks kind of, ancient.
That was my father's first truck.
You mean your grandfather?
And at first they're like, OMG, she's poor. Her dad does manual labor. How sad.
I work in these groves.
Really? Your dad picks oranges?
Millions.
But it turns out her dad is actually like some orange monopoly man, and he offers to give everyone his private jet so they can fly to Salt Lake City.
My dad'll take you straight to Salt Lake.
No thanks. I don't ride mules.
We'll go on his plane.
Okay, yeah, and then after, he can take us to Hawaii on his yacht.
Is it the plane or the yacht?
And you might be thinking, well, this movie's called Getting There. Surely this is the end of the movie. But no, we're only halfway through this thing. The rest of the movie is mostly montages of them doing various ski lodge activities, broken up by the obligatory romances we have to have in all of these movies. Mary-Kate has this one guy who really likes her, but she just wants to be friends. And he does not take that hint at all.
What do you think we are? Like, how would you classify us?
We. Us. You and I is a couple.
Well, I say we're friends.
That is a very uncomfortable watch. Meanwhile, Ashley ends up skiing with an Olympic skier and somehow doesn't realize until after the fact that she was skiing with an Olympic skier, even though she's supposed to be like a huge fan of him.
Your friend is more than welcome.
Thank you. No, I gotta go train.
Train? But you're the best skier I've ever seen.
Not quite.
And that is Getting There. Even though the boys do occasionally have some funny lines,
I have the utmost respect for me.
I would say this movie is really brought down just by the dumbness of these boys, because all I can think while I'm watching this is like, oh my god, if I had to plan a vacation with these boys, I would simply evaporate. I would. On the scale of Mary-Kate and Ashley movies, I can't say this is their best work. Number 11, When in Rome. When in Rome walked very slowly so that the Lizzie McGuire movie could run it over with a Ford pickup truck. In this movie, Mary-Kate and Ashley are interning at a fashion company in Rome, and unfortunately, this movie only has their worst, most boring looks of any of these movies. Make it make sense. Nobu, one of the other interns, is the only one turning looks this whole movie, and he is criminally underutilized. But they start out with having all of the interns introduce themselves.
Not all of you have met, so why don't we introduce ourselves quickly?
I'm Paolo from right here in Roma.
Heidi, Munich, Germany.
And the director is like, well, fuck, I don't know why I just made you all stand here and introduce yourselves. We're late.
Great. Well, now that we're all well acquainted, let's hurry because we're late.
Let's go to the Spanish Steps and then go to the business meeting. So eventually they roll up 45 minutes late and they meet the head of the Roma offices, Mr. Tortoni. And this is where the vertigo starts.
Come to Roma. So, you will spend the summer working in our mailroom, making deliveries and performing other important tasks.
I don't know what happened in this movie, but throughout this entire film, the cameraman is rocking the camera like an infant. I need y'all to understand how truly nauseating this viewing experience was. But unfortunately, Mary-Kate and Ashley get fired because Mary-Kate can't make coffee.
Okay, we'll put this in... Where?
And Ashley and this other intern are fighting over this CD when, oh no, whoops! But just when you think all hope is lost, Derek Hammond, the CEO of the fashion company, comes to save the day.
Enrico Tortoni has been with me since the beginning. I trust him like a brother and I respect his decisions. However, nothing is final unless I say so.
Derek is like, listen, how about you girls hang out at my villa for a few days while I make my employee rehire you? And the girls are like, hell yeah! While they're at the villa, Ashley meets her boy of the movie.
Are you crazy?
I didn't expect to see you. There's not usually people around here.
I'm sorry, Ashley. I was tech decking like crazy. I didn't see you there. This boy is a Nepo baby who just wants to fuck around for the summer. And Ashley is like, grow up, get a job, start drop shipping or something.
For that matter, just do something more challenging than apply SPF 25 every day, all day.
I'm only 17.
But don't you worry, the girls get rehired and Mary-Kate gets to rizz up her Italian boy with a GPS.
We're beaming. We're not beaming, but the satellite's beaming. But I'm beaming just the same.
They go to pick up fabric for their boss and they're like, well, we're ahead of schedule. Let's go to the Coliseum instead. Guys, hey, the fabric's still there. You left the fabric. Mary-Kate?
Mamma mia. I'm talking about real history.
So I suppose you never saw Gladiator?
4 times.
Yeah, this guy thinks about the Roman Empire on the daily. But it turns out Mr. Tortoni wants revenge on Mary-Kate and Ashley? Derek Hammond? Unclear. He devises a plan to take the clothes for the big fashion show from Mary-Kate while she's at lunch. Also, when they discover the clothes are missing, one of the interns is just fully laughing. Yeah, we'll use that shot. Why not? As long as the camera is spinning, we're using it. Meanwhile, Ashley is with Nepo nephew and he's like, why don't you like me? And she's like, shut up and help me take pictures of Mr. Tortoni being shady.
So, do you have just a little bit of respect for me now? Well, which is it?
We need to get these shots.
So Ashley fully witnesses the clothes being taken. She takes photographic evidence of it, but they do nothing to stop it. Their whole fashion line is gone 2 days before their big show. And the design director is like, well, fuck, I've been working on these designs for a year of my life and they're just gone. And Mary-Kate is like, I have an idea. How about instead of remaking these stolen clothes, let's use all of my designs, which have not been tested, and I'm 16 years old, and make all of them in 2 days. And everyone is like, great idea, Mary-Kate. But in the end, they confront Mr. Tortoni.
You're not gonna fire me.
No. I'm having you arrested.
And Nepo nephew is like, well, when in Rome. But Ashley rejects his advances.
In Rome?
Ryan, it's a nice cliche, but a hug will do.
I'll give them credit for at least trying to subvert expectations with that ending, but did you also know that there is an alternate ending to this movie? When I watched the DVD version, it came with a second ending. Tortoni is like, gotcha, you just got pranked. There's a camera there.
We pulled it off, Derek.
Clothes stealing incident was a hoax to see how you'd react.
Gotcha.
And everyone was like, oh, well, that's weird. When in Rome, I guess.
When in Rome.
I can't believe I'm saying meh to a movie where Mary-Kate and Ashley are working at a fashion company in Rome. That's so wrong. That's such a crime. Number 10, Billboard Dad. Billboard Dad is back with that classic premise. Their mom, dead. And of course, they have their dad, Billboard Dad, who makes sculptures. But he's not just any dad. He's forklift certified.
Why do you have a tractor?
Forklift, actually.
And we're supposed to believe that this guy's still single? Yeah, right. Their dad is managed by this guy Nigel, who totally is not shady and is in no way stealing from Billboard Dad. But this time, we have a shakeup. Ashley plays the chill tomboy surfer girl.
We lost the whisk? Oh no. Do you even know what a whisk is? I have no idea.
And it's actually a very Ashley-forward movie for once. Mary-Kate, on the other hand, is like the type A diver girl. Also, Spencer from Pretty Little Liars is here. Early on, they meet this bad boy Ryan, who has piercings, skateboards on the pool deck, and jumps into the pool with shoes on. Oh yeah, he's a bad boy, and he will be an important character. But you see, their dad is depressed because, you know, dead wife and all, and Mary-Kate and Ashley are like, you know what would cheer Billboard Dad up? A woman.
What if something happens to Dad? What, like he could die of sadness? You've seen Jerry Springer. It happens. Let's face it. Maybe what Dad needs to cheer him up is a woman.
And because this is before meeting people through the internet was considered a normal thing to do, the girls decide to just paint a billboard with their dad's full address and a giant picture of their dad's face. What was their budget for this scheme? Billboard Dad is like, OMG, you girls doxed me? You shouldn't have. And of course, we have to have a movie montage of the dad meeting all these crazy women who want to go on a date with him.
You have lovely eyes.
Thank you. But then we meet Brooke. She's newly divorced and her friend Debbie is like, come on, Brooke, you gotta put yourself out there.
It's been 26 months since you got divorced.
26 months. You're counting?
And let me just say, Debbie, ahead of her time.
You read Archie comics because you think Jughead has potential.
Hey, with a different hat, that's all I'm saying.
Brooke and Billboard Dad start dating and the girls realize, oh no, the bad boy from before is Brooke's son. Drama.
Pretty cool stereo. Impressive.
We have an alarm system. How come you didn't tell on us?
Because I'm not a rat.
Spare us a prison code of honor.
Bye, dorks. I'm out of here.
Why do you have to be so rude?
Meanwhile, Nigel sees this new relationship and is like, I don't like it. If Billboard Dad is happy, his sculptures might change. And if they change, they might not sell as well. Do I have any evidence to back this up? No. But he decides he's going to trick Mary-Kate and Ashley into thinking Brooke is just a gold-digging whore and turn the children against her.
If I didn't know any better, I'd think you were after his money.
Okay, you caught me. I admit it.
I'm not gonna let him get hurt by...
Why Nigel didn't just try and trick Billboard Dad directly is beyond me, but whatever. So then the girls and Nigel concoct another plan to make Brooke think that Billboard Dad is cheating on her so that she will break up with him.
She looks so crushed. I really feel guilty. She's a gold digger. We had no choice.
Even though Mary-Kate and Ashley think that Brooke is only dating Billboard Dad for his money and doesn't actually care about him. For some reason, they think that she will care about him cheating. This plan was thought out by 12-year-olds, but I don't know. This is definitely one of those movies where people just sat down and had a conversation. There'd be no movie. Brooke and Billboard Dad break up. And Nigel is like, my plan worked, but also I'm going to start selling forgeries on the side of Billboard Dad's artwork. Just because I'm evil like that, I guess. Then we cut back to the diving team drama, the B plot of this movie. So it turns out Bad Boy is actually really good at diving. So good that he might even take one of their spots on the diving team. But on the day of the championship, he gets a tattoo.
I can't. I just got a new tattoo. It has to stay out of water for 48 hours.
That's just great.
So instead, Ashley, with no diving experience, has to go up there, and you best believe she gets a 10 out of 10 on the first try and brings it home. To be honest, I wasn't even paying attention to Ashley's win because I was so fixated on this child's tattoo. Like, I'm sorry, Brooke, are you not parenting this child? Who gave him a tattoo? But it turns out he didn't actually get one. He just said that so that Ashley would get her chance, like, in the spotlight to compete. So It's all fine, I guess. But they see Nigel monologuing outside about his plan to sell forgeries, and they're like, oh no, we fucked up. And Nigel is the bad guy. So they record Nigel saying, I'm a bad boy, I'm really evil.
I'm going to be so filthy rich selling Max Tyler's knockoffs. I won't need him anymore.
So cut to Billboard Dad's fancy art exhibit, and may I just say, I love this hedgehog cake. I'm so charmed by this. I want this cake at my wedding. But they play Nigel's confession, and they make the bold choice to remix his confession into a rap disc.
Crank it up, Cody.
I need as many copies of that as you can make. Make. I'm going to be rich. Filthy rich. If you ask me, you should send the two little nosy brats to boarding school. Did I say that out loud?
Did I say that out loud? Nigel, the First Millennial. And that's the movie. It's a perfectly fine Mary-Kate and Ashley movie, but I don't know, something's missing here. Not the outfits. Those slay. But compared to their incredible repertoire, this one's just okay for me. Controversial, but true. Number 9, How the West Was Fun. How the West Was Fun was one of the only Mary-Kate and Ashley movies I actually vividly remember watching as a kid, and I was kind of nervous to rewatch it and see if it holds up, and I think it does? ? I think my childhood nostalgia may be blinding me to this movie's flaws, so I will especially need y'all's opinion on this one. But How the West Was Fun starts off real strong. It starts off with little Mary-Kate and Ashley about to have a showdown with Jean Parmesan, and the girls are loaded up.
And draw.
We never draw first. You draw first.
No, you draw first.
No, you.
No, you.
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 No, you.
But the twins wake up from this dream that they share because they're twins and they have the same dream. This is another classic dead parent story. They've got a single dad who works at an insurance company for a comically evil woman.
I've canceled her plane.
Well, the woman is blind. She lost her dog.
That's her problem.
One day they get a letter from this lady, Natty, who was their mom's godmother. And the letter says, hey, Mary-Kate and Ashley's mom, come on up here and hang out at the ranch with me. Even though their mom has been dead for 3 years. This woman somehow has no idea that her goddaughter has been dead this entire time. But the twins really want to live their cowboy fantasy, so they call up their dad's boss to see if they can get him some vacation time. And the evil boss calls back and is like, oh, you can have a vacation, all right.
In fact, make that a permanent vacation. You're fired.
But see, Mary-Kate and Ashley are schemers, and they're like, Dad, listen to this voicemail.
Stephen, this is Miss Plaskett. I understand you want to take your vacation starting tomorrow. Go ahead.
See?
So let's go be cowboys. Who cares if our dad is unemployed? It's ranch time. They get there and meet one of Natty's employees, George, and say this to them.
Excuse me, are you an Indian? You're supposed to say Native American.
Yes, I am.
Is your name Sleeping Owl or Running Elk or something like that?
I don't know why these movies loved writing in Mary-Kate and Ashley being casually racist, but it sure does happen a lot. But they meet Natty and they're like, oh, yeah, by the way, our mom is dead. And they also meet Bart, Natty's son, aka Jean Parmesan. And Bart is going on and on about how this ranch is a flop and how his mom just needs to sell it already.
Well, nobody comes anymore. They all want to go to these theme parks and fantasy rides. That's why we're selling the place.
Me, an empath, sensing this guy is bad news. The next day, George is showing the girls around the ranch when they see this horse prancing around, and George is like, why don't you follow it? And then they cut to Mary-Kate and Ashley being halfway up this mountain in the Canadian Rockies. These girls are not dressed for this kind of excursion, but they run into what turns out to be their mom's secret place from when she was their age and she would visit the ranch.
Go inside.
Come with us, George. Where'd he go?
They actually find their mom's journal, which says, do not read this. You will die. In it, their mom writes about a secret in the bear's mouth. Bear's mouth.
I got in through the secret of the bear's mouth. Bear's mouth.
They also learn that when Bart was a little kid, he tried to burn down the ranch. And wouldn't you know it, he's doing it again right now.
Oh no! Another fire!
Oh, just kidding. He's just very suspiciously burning a bunch of documents. The girls see all of these letters of people requesting to stay at the ranch, even though Bart said that no one supposedly wanted to stay there. He's been purposely diverting business away. He finds them, and of course we get this epic chase scene, which in my mind is set to yakety sax, but I'm probably making that up. And then they realize their dream is happening in real life.
This ranch ain't big enough for the 3 of us.
The dream.
What?
But instead of telling Natty this damning information at dinner, Mary-Kate and Ashley are like, hey, Natty, don't sell the ranch, just take out another loan. Natty is like, oh my god, these children are geniuses. Yes, let's do that.
Wow, maybe you could get another loan and start over again.
A good idea.
Honestly, Bart very reasonably says, maybe you don't take financial advice from 7-year-olds. And Mary-Kate and Ashley absolutely own him.
Mama, these are kids you're talking to. They're in kindergarten.
We are not. We're in 2nd grade in the advanced reading group.
The way this was such a mic drop moment for me as a child, because I was in the advanced reading group. The girls are then exploring the ranch when they find this rug. A bear's mouth.
Remember Mom's diary? Bear.
You remember what your mom said. Stick your hand in a bear's mouth. They go down there and they learn that Bart is worse than they feared. He's a theme park adult. He has a whole model of a theme park he wants to build right on the ranch. Later on, Bart is bathing with the model for some reason. I don't know, theme park adults are weird. But the girls steal the model and show it to Natty, and she's like, what? I can't believe my son, who's been maniacally laughing in the corner this whole time, is evil. But it's too late. He's already sold it to some hedge fund guy in Denver. George then tells the girls that Native Americans believed in communal resources.
I wish Indians still ran things.
You and me.
Feels like a nice moment, but the movie can't help itself and say this.
What would you do with the land?
Start a casino.
But the girls decide that the only thing they can do is ride their horse to Denver and convince the hedge fund guy not to build Gaffooly Land.
How far is Denver? I don't know, but a girl's gotta do what a girl's gotta do.
And so these girls ride their horse overnight into the city and even get directions from Elizabeth Olsen in her acting debut.
Do you know how to get to 7th Street? It's right over there, silly.
Also, for some reason, the hedge fund secretaries are creepy twins.
Who is the responsible adult?
We give up. Who?
They never come back, but I just thought that you should know that. The girls end up convincing the hedge fund guy and his team that they should spend one weekend at the ranch and decide whether it can stay a ranch or whether it should just become Gaffooly Land. And even though they know that Bart is evil, for some reason he's still able to get on the ranch multiple times and just fuck up this trip for them. Call the police! This man is trespassing and damaging property. Why are we just letting Bart blow up the kitchen?
And we want you to work up a big appetite.
So of course the weekend is going horribly, but that's when George tells the girls about Vision Quest.
You go into nature and wait until a spirit reveals itself to you. It could be an animal or some other form of nature. It will give you special spirit strength and understanding.
The girls have a shared dream, and they believe an indigenous spirit is guiding them to find hidden treasure and defeat Bart. So they go track Bart down the next day with George.
It's him.
How do you know?
Air conditioner.
And then they hang Bart by his feet.
In the name of peace.
I looked this up. You can die within 5 to 10 minutes of hanging like that. I think these girls wanted Bart dead. So while Bart is all tied up, they're like, oh, hedge fund guy, I bet you wouldn't be interested in finding secret treasure on the ranch, would you? It'd be like super cool and fun, but you wouldn't care about that, right?
Yep. Do these cases go into?
Wait a minute.
Master manipulators, these two. So they go around all day chasing these clues for a secret gold mine on the ranch, and eventually they see it. But it turns out it's not gold. It's iron pyrite. Even though it's not real gold, hedge fund guy is so hyped up from this epic quest he's been on, he's like, you know what? I'll invest in the ranch. I love this place. And just when you think it's over, Bart shows up with this other guy. This other guy straight up falls in the water, and these people just watch him get swept away. But then Bart straight up kidnaps the twins.
Oh my lord, what have I done?
And oh no, they're headed right for the dam. Now, I will set aside a lot of things, but does this movie seriously expect me to believe that a beaver made that? But the girls manage to get off the boat right before Bart crashes down the dam. Oh my god, Bart is dead. He's dead. We just watched him die. Oh wait, he's fine. And for some reason, he's still invited to the party celebrating the ranch being saved. He tried to kill 2 children. Are we just gonna let that go? I loved this movie as a kid, and I do still think it's a fun time, but I do not know if the references to Native American culture in this film were accurate, tasteful, respectful. I mean, this movie really dances around the fact that George, an indigenous person, is fighting for this white woman to keep her ranch, land that originally belonged to his ancestors, presumably. And of course, I didn't see any type of indigenous expert credited on the project, so I don't know if there was really any sensitivity to that issue. So I couldn't in good faith put this in the top half of the list, like, all nostalgia aside. So if any indigenous people have any insight, any thoughts that they would want to share, I would greatly appreciate that. Number 8, Winning London. This movie is personally upsetting to me because its central plot is a Model UN conference. Now, would it shock any of you to learn that I tried so hard to be a Model UN girly in high school and it just did not happen for me? As soon as I learned I had to take the side of whatever country I was on and not just spout my own policy opinions for a couple hours, I was over it. I know best. In this movie, we have another shakeup. Mary-Kate is super into Model UN, super type A, and Ashley is just going on the Model UN trip because it's in London and her childhood crush is going to be there. This time we've also got redhead girl and redhead boy. Diversity. Also in the beginning, she's not an important character or anything, but there's this girl side-eyeing Ashley, and the audacity of this girl to be side-eyeing Ashley Olsen with her hair looking like that. The girls get to London and wouldn't you know it, Mary-Kate meets a cute British boy cosplaying as a Warbler from Glee. The Model UN team gets assigned the UK and Ashley's like, babes, we gotta do our research by sightseeing around London in the cutest outfits we've ever worn. I'm being so serious when I say this movie easily has my favorite Mary-Kate and Ashley outfits. The hats, the glasses, the coats, the pants. None of it misses. So they're touring around England and they sit in a parliament session, and look at that! Margaret Thatcher is still in power in the Mary-Kate and Ashley universe. And it turns out that British boy from earlier, his father is a lord. Not like Royals lord, an Andrew Lloyd Webber lord.
My father's a lord, unfortunately.
Doesn't sound too unfortunate.
Well, it's difficult to explain to...
What? A commoner?
And they're competing against him in tomorrow's Model UN tournament. So the tournament starts and Mary-Kate and Ashley are just straight up cheating. They bribe other countries with Game Boy Advance games. Mary-Kate sells out her sister to one of the other countries.
Can I count on your vote?
If you dance with me at tonight's party?
My sister would love to.
But hey, they win that round. That's how diplomacy works. See, Mary-Kate and Ashley aren't afraid to teach kids the harsh realities of international relations. They go there. The next day, all the Model UN competitors go to Lord Browning's house to play field hockey Horse Girl edition. And because Mary-Kate slays at everything, she crushes it. She wins the game. But her British boy is sad because she made him look like an absolute fool in front of his Lord Father.
Sorry, James, but I play to win.
Chloe, sometimes you win one thing and you lose another.
Sorry you can't handle powerful women on horses, James. But the next day, they're at the next Model UN round when the United Nations is attacked by terrorists. And Mary-Kate and James are taken hostage.
You, come with me. Me? Hey, you.
Take me.
Okay.
The Model UN is supposed to, negotiate the hostage situation and free the delegates, but Ashley is like, hang on, what if we just rescue them ourselves? So Mary-Kate and James vent, and they get right out of there because Britain does not negotiate with terrorists. American politicians wish they had the political savvy of Mary-Kate and Ashley. No one can take them. But Lord Browning, of course, is still upset because Mary-Kate and Ashley have been making his son look like an absolute fool, distracting him from being a rich British boy or whatever. So he writes a letter pretending to be his son, luring Mary-Kate away from the Model UN competition during the final round. And of course there's this mandatory epic chase scene to get Mary-Kate back. Meanwhile, Ashley has to step up and defend the royal British family.
Being part of a country is like being part of a family. Just because we complain about them doesn't mean that they don't have a warm place in our hearts.
Ashley really said, Prince Andrew? Family. Oh, and Mary-Kate and Ashley also get in their drag king looks and sneak into a fancy boy party so that they can convince their favorite British lad to hang out with them again.
Well, I must know your parents.
Oh, yes, Lord Voldemort.
So Mary-Kate gets her British boy, Ashley gets out of the friend zone. Right after Ashley notices that the pervy ginger boy was trying to record their kiss so that he could watch it later.
She told me to get a life.
Well, she's right.
Girl, please. Get out of there. You deserve better. Like I said, this movie absolutely served with their looks, but it's not zany enough for me. I mean, this is definitely one of the more romance-heavy movies, and I realize it may not seem like it just based on how I summarized it, but that's because I don't want to recap all the times they just stopped everything to talk to the boy they liked. But also, wanting less romance in a Mary-Kate and Ashley movie is probably my most unreasonable request. The boys are mandatory. Number 7, Passport to Paris. These girls are being icons as usual, and right away they're asked to go to the spring fling with 2 cute boys. But they are about to receive some devastating news.
You're going to Paris?
When are we going to Paris?
Next week over spring break.
No!
The artistry of that shot. These poor girls can't go to the spring fling with their boys. They're stuck with their wealthy diplomat father, whose employee will be their personal tour guide limoing them around Paris. The torture. So Jeremy, their grandfather's employee, is taking them to the Louvre, when all of a sudden this film turns into Taken.
Hey, we're walking here. What are you doing?
No! Get away from them!
Seriously, this man is yelling like a Secret Service agent ready to jump in front of the president. But it turns out they were just getting circled by 2 Parisian boys. The boys drive off and the girls go to the Louvre, which starts one of the trippiest scenes of the entire Mary-Kate and Ashley franchise. So most of this movie we can kind of skip through. They go on dates with their cute little Parisian boys. They befriend this Parisian model who is also a woman in STEM.
Fascinating career you have, Jeremy. Foreign diplomacy has always been an interest of mine. That is why I did my postgraduate studies on international relations.
And they teach this Parisian chef about the power of a late-night McDonald's snack.
I don't understand how people eat this rubbish. It's junky. It's trash.
They also do have this very cute moment where the girls intentionally switch places to see if their boys will be able to tell the difference, and the boys immediately know who's who. But one night the girls sneak out with their Parisian boys and they're caught by the cops. Gasp! So their grandfather is like, that's it, no more cute Parisian boys for you. But later, the grandfather overhears Mary-Kate and Ashley talking to the boys who snuck back to check on them, and he's like, maybe I should spend time with my grandchildren? But also don't forget he's the American diplomat to France, and he's trying to get these French people to pass the Clean Water Treaty. And it seems like it's not going to happen. French people famously love dirty water. But Mary-Kate and Ashley are like, hey, we're young, and clean water is good. Like how Napoleon was good.
Napoleon understood national pride.
Huh? And the grandfather is like, oh my gosh, you political savants. Go to your French boys. You've solved the international water crisis. You deserve it. Passport to Paris continues to deliver with Mary-Kate and Ashley's political savvy. When is their presidential campaign? Oh, wait.
I can't wait until I'm president. Nobody tells a president what to do.
And after all this, they go home and run into those boys from the beginning of the movie. But you see, they've studied abroad now. They're cultured. They don't have time for these silly American boys anymore.
Hey, Allie. Hey, Melanie.
Oh, hey, Kyle. Hey, Shane.
That's Kyle. I'm Shane.
Getting a superiority complex after going to Europe once is a canon event. So I realize I just said that I didn't really like the last movie because it wasn't zany enough and it was mostly about romance, and this one is entirely romance and not even that zany. I never claimed that this was an objective or logical ranking system, just an accurate one. But these little French boys are just so much more fun than their other love interests. They have some pizzazz, some je ne sais quoi, if you will.
Comment oses-tu parler à cette super fille de cette façon? Et tu es l'arrière-train des singes volants!
And the outfits, of course, go hard. Love, love, love Bridget, their supermodel friend. We stand an educated woman. I can't help the way I feel about this movie. It just happened. Number 6, Double Double, Toil, and Trouble. Next, we've got a spooky movie, which I automatically love. In Double Double, Toil, and Trouble, you guessed it, these girls are twins, and they hate being twins because they have to share things and look alike.
You mean we each get a magic wand?
Well, I only have one. You'll have to share.
The story of our lives. I don't want to look like Kelly, and I don't want to look like you either.
They are already planning their plastic surgery when they're adults because they hate being twins that much.
When I'm older, can I get a nose job?
What's wrong with your nose?
Nothing, but then we just won't look like twins anymore.
It's a lot. One day at a Halloween party, they win a plastic magic wand, which for whatever reason, they can actually use to do real magic. Yes, they are twins, and they are witches, but they are absolutely nowhere near the cinematic artistry of twitches. Let's make that much clear. After the party, their parents stopped the car outside of their great Aunt Agatha's house. And let me just say, Aunt Agatha put her mind, body, and soul into this role. I was fully immersed whenever she was on screen. Mary-Kate and Ashley's parents are low on cash and are actually about to get evicted from their home. So they're there to ask for money from Aunt Agatha, who is an evil witch, and so she says no. Meanwhile, outside, the girls run into a spooky gravedigger who just basically exists to give them a bunch of lore.
And I'm not leaving my house again until the day after Halloween.
How come?
Don't you know what happens on Halloween?
They find out that not only is their great aunt a witch, she also used to have a twin sister, and they both wore criminally uneven wigs. Spooky! But one day, Aunt Agatha took a moonstone and banished Aunt Sophia to a mirror up in the attic. And on Halloween this year, at midnight, the spell will become permanent. And it's a real shame because Aunt Sophia was rich too, and she would totally give their family the money if Aunt Sophia was around. The parents don't know that Aunt Sophia is in the mirror, by the way. They're just like, oh yeah, one day we just never heard from Aunt Sophia again. She's so crazy like that.
They must have run off together.
But didn't she call you or write you letters?
No, that was the strange part. No one ever heard from her or saw her again.
I guess you weren't a real 90s kid unless someone you knew just vanished without a trace. That's just Aunt Sophia for you. But the girls decide that they are going to get that moonstone and free Aunt Sophia tonight on Halloween. So they switch Halloween costumes with some kids outside. What are these Halloween costumes? Did Mary-Kate and Ashley already have these costumes prepared before they planned on switching places? Or did Mary-Kate and Ashley, fashion icons, really want to wear these outfits? What even are they? I don't know. But anyway, their plan works and they're just wandering around and they run into an unhoused man called Mr. N.
Money is the key and I want lots and lots of it.
Have you ever tried working for it?
And we're back to the weird racist and classist stereotypes. It's not a Mary-Kate and Ashley movie without them, I guess. But Mr. N decides he's going to help these girls because he thinks this moonstone is worth tons of money. So he takes them to a fortune teller who can hopefully use her powers to figure out where Aunt Agatha is tonight. But again, Mary-Kate and Ashley are witches. They find out that Agatha is going to be at the annual gathering of the witches, which looks like it's hosted at an Amazon warehouse. I guess the Marriott Convention Center was booked that weekend. But as they're walking over to this meeting, they run into this tiny house, and it turns out the house is owned by Oscar the Clown, the guy who gave them the wand at the beginning of the movie, and he decides that he's also going to help these girls. So they hop in his clown car and head to the hottest party in town. But Aunt Agatha has learned through her magic mirror that the girls are coming to free her sister, and she knows that their twin power will overpower her. So when Agatha is running the Halloween party, she outs them as the imposter.
Have I asked you to help me?
Why?
Why? Because the twins are here among us!
The girls still manage to get the moonstone from her and split up, one going with Mr. N, the other going with Oscar the Clown. And Agatha turns Mr. N into a crow and kidnaps Mary-Kate. And Ashley is very upset about this because Mary-Kate is her sister and she doesn't want her sister to get hurt.
They caught her. I don't want them to hurt her. She's my sister.
Ashley convinces the gravedigger from the beginning to come with them and fight Aunt Agatha. They get in the house and Agatha is like, hey, Ashley, give me the moonstone and I'll kill Mary-Kate for you. Then you won't be a twin anymore. Ashley's like, I do hate being a twin, but no, you cannot kill my sister. They run upstairs, free Aunt Sophia, trap Aunt Agatha in the mirror, and then smash the mirror to pieces, absolutely obliterating a chance at a sequel. Aunt Agatha is free, they get to keep their house, Mr. N isn't a crow anymore and no longer cares about money, although he is still unhoused, so maybe someone should care about that for him. And the movie ends with Mary-Kate and Ashley sweeping up mirror pieces and throwing it all away. We did it. Hey guys, there's still a piece on the floor. Mary-Kate, you missed one. Guys, this movie delivers all of the zany nonsense I need from a Mary-Kate and Ashley movie. There's no romance subplot to slow things down, barely any montages, and it's spooky. What more could you want, besides maybe being less racist and classist? Number 5, The Challenge. This movie is basically Survivor, Mary-Kate and Ashley edition, and it starts with a classic record scratch.
I can't do it! You have to! Our future's in your hands! My hands! Okay, we don't look like your typical action heroes. So how did 2 city girls like us end up in the Mexican desert suspended from a bridge without cell phones or lip gloss? Well, it all started a few months back with this very popular TV show.
You see, this has never been done before, but they're twins. But they couldn't be more different.
Just an uptight, Birkenstock-wearing, cow-eating, tree-hugging type A personality. We have absolutely nothing in common. Nothing. Nothing. And did I say nothing? Nothing.
Ashley is a DC girly with that grind-set mindset. Meanwhile, Mary-Kate is a crunchy granola mom, and she's ready for the challenge.
Hi, I'm Shane Dalton from LA, and I'm ready for the challenge.
And they have to put their differences aside to compete on this show for full college scholarships. There's nothing quite like hanging $100,000 in student loan debt over 17-year-olds' heads while, making them eat worms, refusing to feed them when they lose challenges, and making them hike through barren deserts. Y'all can already guess the plot at this point. Mary-Kate and Ashley are placed on a team together, but they hate each other, so they have to learn through the power of sisterhood to put their differences aside and win the big college scholarships. The reason this movie ranks so highly for me is not just for the Survivor ripoff premise. It's honestly mostly for JJ.
Janice Josephine, aka JJ. Big dreams wrapped into a tiny package. Confident as an avalanche.
I am a triple threat. Singer, dancer, actress.
Team Mayan.
JJ is my favorite Mary-Kate and Ashley character to ever exist because in every scene, she is just there, serving. JJ thought that she had signed up for American Idol.
What do you mean daring tests of knowledge and endurance? I thought we were competing for a record deal.
But it turns out, no, she's on a show where she has to eat cat food. And she's like, you know what? Fine, give me some of that.
Oh, come on.
Got it, girl.
What? Tastes just like tuna.
That was weird.
Also, at the end of this movie, we have an incredible moment.
You are my first love.
Wow. You're the first guy who's ever said that to me.
Hello? Remember me?
Ben? Ben?
Yes, all of the boys from past Mary-Kate and Ashley movies come back and start fighting over who loved them the most. The fourth wall break at the end of this movie absolutely broke me.
It was a perfect time for a getaway. You know, Ash, boys will come and go, but we'll always have each other.
I loved it, and I loved JJ. It is a crime that this movie isn't available to stream anywhere. Please, someone get the rights to this so everyone can experience this quality film. Number 4, It Takes Two. It Takes Two is like a ripoff of The Parent Trap with Lindsay Lohan, except It Takes Two came out 3 years before Lindsay Lohan's The Parent Trap. Except Parent Trap 1998 was a remake of the original Parent Trap from the 1960s. So actually, what is the truth? Unlike The Parent Trap where Lindsay Lohan played 2 separated twins, Mary-Kate and Ashley are just identical strangers. They're not separated at birth. There is no attempt to explain why these 2 look like twins. They just look alike. And I admire the audacity of that premise. In this movie, Mary-Kate is a little orphan tomboy from Brooklyn, New York.
Lemon!
What?
Didn't I tell you not to play ball in that dress?
Oh, come on, Diane. I ain't gonna hurt it. Just let me smash this ball downtown, okay?
What makes this accent even better is that it slowly fades throughout the entire movie until she's just talking like a very enthusiastic Mary-Kate.
This orphan stuff is like growing up in a dog pound. Everybody wants a puppy. Just once I'd like to sleep in my own room.
And by contrast, Ashley is the daughter of a tech billionaire and goes to boarding school in England, which means she also has an accent that gets abandoned even faster than Mary-Kate's accent.
He forgot again, didn't he? I think this house is going to be my favorite.
Mary-Kate, her orphanage, and the lady from Cheers are all hanging out at this summer camp. And Mary-Kate's like, man, it sure would be nice to have like a family that liked me. Meanwhile, across the lake, Ashley comes home and realizes some harpy is trying to marry her billionaire dad. And she's like, man, I wish I was an orphan so I could just run around or something. So of course these two switch places and shenanigans ensue. Ashley doesn't know how to play football because she's British or something. Mary-Kate doesn't know how to play piano. She's from the mean streets of New York. But these two are like, hang on, we both hate this lady who's trying to marry Ashley's dad. Let's set him up to cheat on his fiancée with the lady from Cheers. And their plan almost works. But then, suddenly, Mary-Kate is adopted, but Ashley is still pretending to be Mary-Kate. So actually, Ashley just got adopted. She got adopted by this family who has one biological son and then just adopts a bunch of kids to force them into doing free labor for them. A surprisingly hot take on the adoption industry from the Olsen twins. Meanwhile, the evil harpy has moved the wedding with Rich Dad up to today. They've got to rescue Ashley and stop this wedding. So of course they land a helicopter in the junkyard, get Ashley, then take the helicopter and land right in the middle of a baseball game in Central Park. Surely that can't be legal. But then they race through New York City on a horse and buggy, they stop the wedding and absolutely humiliate this woman in front of everyone.
Wanna bet?
If all of that happened to me, I don't think you'd ever see me again. There's no coming back from it. So then of course the twins are like, hey, two attractive adults, just kiss already.
Well, ladies, what do you have to say for yourselves?
So kiss already!
And the movie ends. This was one of only 2 Mary-Kate and Ashley movies to get a theatrical release, and it really does show. I mean, if you've seen The Parent Trap, you've seen this movie. And The Parent Trap's a good movie. It is a perfectly serviceable rom-com, and it has really bad Brooklyn accents. What's not to love? Lindsay Lohan did do it better though, unfortunately. And that's a little embarrassing for the twins because there was only one Lindsay Lohan. Number 3, Holiday in the Sun. This movie is a 90-minute commercial, and I love it. This movie basically just exists to promote the Atlantis resort in the Bahamas, and because of that, it's one of the most montage-heavy movies in the Mary-Kate and Ashley series. But despite that, it still manages to have so many iconic and straight-up unhinged choices that I can't look away. In Holiday in the Sun, Mary-Kate and Ashley are super excited for their spring break because they're about to go to Hawaii. But then, on their private jet, which they have with their 2 dozen Krispy Kreme donuts, their pilot father delivers some devastating news.
So Dad, where are we going? Hawaii?
No, we're not going to Hawaii today, girls. We're going somewhere much better. I'm taking you to Atlantis. The Atlantis Resort in the Bahamas.
The Bahamas? But Dad, we really wanted to go on a school trip to Hawaii.
They're not going to a luxury beach location. They're going to a different luxury beach location. Screaming, crying, throwing up. And these girls have to share their own suite, all by themselves. How will they cope? Now, I will say this movie is most well known, and for good reason, for being the film debut of the one, the only, Megan Fox. And yes, she is easily the best part of this movie.
Excuse me. Oh, were you in line? Brianna Wallace, messages please.
Certainly, Miss Wallace. And how is your father today?
In the casino. Wondering why this is taking so long?
She delivers some click-level one-liners, all while looking like a Y2K version of Madison Beer. She's great. They're staying with their family friends, one of whom just so happens to be future heartthrob from One Tree Hill, Austin Nichols. But of course, we can't just have one boy, we need 2 boys. The second boy works at this resort and is just a fantastic actor.
Oh, I live here. I take care of the marine habitats of the Atlantis.
Oh.
It's enormous. Some people say it's the largest in the world.
Mary-Kate and Ashley go down to this teen club, I guess, and would you guess who is giving a live performance? None other than Swedish teen girl group early 2000 sensation Play, performing their hit song, Us Against the World. It does not get better than this. Then we get this fantastic montage of Megan Fox just rejecting boys while the song plays in the background.
Hey, what's up?
Not my temperature.
Peak cinema, I tell you. Peak cinema. While Ashley's flirting with Jordan, the guy who works at the resort, Megan Fox lasers in on this guy as the hottest boy at the entire resort.
Excuse me. My name is Brianna Wallace, as in the Wallace department store Wallace's. What's your name?
And so Ashley and Megan Fox are like, game on. Let's fight over this man, shall we? Meanwhile, Mary-Kate is like, OMG, childhood friend, One Tree Hill guy. I have a crush on someone. It's your dumb friend Scott. Of course, we get this mandatory rom-com bit where childhood friend has to feed lines to dumb hot guy while not confessing his own feelings for the childhood friend for dramatic effect.
The jerk chicken. The jerk chicken.
Never heard of that.
but Jordan introduces Ashley to this guy, Champlain.
Hey, Alex, this is my friend Champlain.
His name is Champlain, and Jordan has to deliver some totally not illegal packages for this guy Champlain. That's his name, Champlain.
And you will get that package to me that we talked about?
You bet.
Wouldn't you know it? It turns out that those packages were illegal.
What are you doing? What are you doing, man?
Quite correct. It belongs to the people of the Bahamas.
What?
And you're all under arrest.
I love the millennial zooms they keep doing on the Bahamas police faces. We'll get into it, but the director really thought he did something with some of his cinematic choices in this film, and they were certainly choices. But Jordan is so dreamy. There's no way he committed this crime. Look how sad he is, rizzing it up in the jail. It must have been a setup by the guy, Champlain. So then, we get a chase scene. A chase scene which truly left me speechless the first time I watched it.
Oh, there he is!
There he is! Damn!
Get out of our way!
Run faster!
This way, over here!
Run!
Can someone tell me why the only time we see black people in this movie set in the Bahamas is the police and these random shots of black children just cut between them chasing this old white man? Is this meant to be like some sort of biting social commentary? Is this Oscar bait? I would really love to know what the thought process was here. They don't catch Champlain, he gets away, but they're like, you know what? Let's just sneak onto this smuggler's boat and get evidence that he's smuggling stuff, and then the police will have no choice but to free Jordan. Mary-Kate and Ashley find the smuggled artifacts, they free Jordan, and then Mary-Kate ends the movie with this iconic line.
Well, I guess this won't be the last family vacation.
Oh, but wait, that's actually not how the movie ends.
There's a rewrite. Can I have a script, please?
Sorry, everyone.
We hope next year's trip is as good as the last family vacation.
And that's a cut. Very nice. Check the camera.
I think you're starting to see that I don't necessarily like movies because they're good. I like them because they're ridiculous. And this one absolutely is. I love it. Number 2, Our Lips Are Sealed. Our Lips Are Sealed has some of the most iconic moments, but I will try my best to break it down succinctly. This movie starts with an immediate fourth wall break.
Hey, look, there's Brad Pitt! Where? Hey! Works every time.
And the girls start having like a blow dryer fight, even though both of them already have perfectly dried and styled hair before they even started all this. Mary-Kate and Ashley want to be popular on their first day of high school, but of course they show up looking like a mess and they accidentally grievously injure a cheerleader. Looks like they're not going to be homecoming queens anytime soon. So these two are feeling their feelings outside a museum, just chowing down on some hot dogs. Meanwhile, right behind them, a jewel thief has stolen the Neil Diamond. The Neil Diamond. As the thief escapes, the girls accidentally spray him with ketchup right as a balloon pops.
I've been hit!
That's some powerful ketchup.
Do you think this was the first time ketchup was ever CGI'd in a movie? But it turns out the thief was actually in a major crime family, and the girls have to go into witness protection program. But there's one problem.
We're kind of, well, blabbermouths.
So fed up with them, the FBI is like, all right, one last chance. We are sending you to Sydney, Australia to live it up with some surfer boys, but don't fuck it up this time or you're out of the program forever. So the girls go to Australia and they've got their own inn. They've got a pet kangaroo who watches soap operas, and they can't understand a word these Aussies are saying.
What's with the Paradangy duds? You seppos gone troppo?
Subtitles, please.
They initially see these cute surfer boys, but apparently these cute surfer boys are not cool. And if they want to be popular, they have to hang out with all the cool Australians and eat Vegemite. Oh yeah, and Ashley learns how to surf.
Since when does she know how to surf?
Since it's seen, apparently.
And Mary-Kate can throw a boomerang perfectly. There's nothing that these girls can't do. But it turns out that this whole time, the girls have actually still had the Neil Diamond, and they never even realized it. Ashley just made a cute little choker with it, and it's just walking around delivering look after look. So the mob back in the US is like, okay, let's send the guy from Oppenheimer and this other mobster guy to go after them. But the thing is, these guys are kind of useless.
Uncle Sidney? What? I think we're lost.
So it takes them forever to go and actually get the girls. Meanwhile, Mary-Kate and Ashley start having weird Blair Witch visions and run into the cute surfer boys. And they're like, fuck it, let's have some of these cute surfer boys. So it turns out one of the boys' dads just so happens to own a theme park. An entire theme park. And so the girls get to go to this theme park and have the whole place to themselves. How does it feel to live my dream? But then the mobsters show up to the inn the girls are living at, and they're like, hey, we're just normal guests at this inn, totally not criminals. We get this great scene where one of the mobsters falls in love with the hot babe Katie, who's working at the inn they're running. Same, Oppenheimer guy, same. But the girls discovered that these two guys are actually mobsters, and let me just read the Wikipedia description of what happens next. Maddie and Abby, Mary-Kate and Ashley, defeat Mac and Sydney by knocking them out, tying them to surfboards, putting clips in Sydney's hair, painting Mac's toenails, and threatening to put pink and blue bikinis on them. And then Ashley Olsen just calls up the head mobster while these men are tied up and are like, listen babes, this diamond feels real good on my neck, so if you want it, you better get your butt over here.
So, I guess you're just gonna have to come over here and get it yourself. Otherwise, I'm gonna go Titanic on you and throw the diamond into the ocean. Have a great trip. Oh, and by the way, I recommend Qantas. It's a long flight.
Fearless, strong, empowered. Their master plan is to call the FBI and have them catch the bad guy at tomorrow's surf competition. But it turns out the FBI are so fed up with these girls that they just straight up ignore their calls and quit their jobs. So of course big mobster guy shows up to the surf competition, and right when he's about to fly away with the Neil Diamond, Mary-Kate knocks him off the seaplane with her boomerang skills. Jojo Siwa has been real quiet since she saw this scene, and it turns out hot babe Katie is actually FBI agent Catherine Smith. This movie is so campy, so fun. There were so many funny lines I had to cut out of the summary because I can't just go line by line, but what an incredible viewing experience. Number 1, New York Minute. New York Minute was the last Mary-Kate and Ashley film to be released, and the second to get a theatrical release, and it flopped at the box office for absolutely no good reason, other than perhaps all of the racism in this movie. But hey, we'll get to that. I watched this movie first, actually, and I immediately regretted choosing this movie first because I instantly knew that no film would compare to the viewing experience I had with this movie. I went on an emotional journey. This film has plenty of flaws, pretty major flaws, but I think it ranks first in my mind because this is the most Mary-Kate and Ashley it gets, with the best and worst traits of all of the previous movies just brought up to an 11. Ashley Olsen is an uptight young Republican getting ready to give her fellowship application speech at Columbia University. Mary-Kate, on the other hand, is like if they made a Bratz doll who really loved Simple Plan. This is easily my favorite Mary-Kate and Ashley aesthetic and personality divide. They look like that two sides of Tumblr picture. You immediately get who these people are just visually, and they are perfectly contrasted for antics to ensue. Their mom, of course, dead. And their dad is Dr. Drew. Yeah, the COVID-denying psychologist from Frenemies. He is the father of Mary-Kate and Ashley. Mary-Kate is a rebel. She's too cool for school, and she's planning on ditching school today so that she can go to the filming of a Simple Plan music video. But Eugene Levy is here, and he is a truancy officer, and he's been trying to catch Mary-Kate ditching school for years so that he can become a real cop. And he is not going to let Mary-Kate get away with her Simple Plan fantasy without a fight.
Your simple plan's about to get a bit more complicated, Roxanne Ryan.
Get a job. Stay away from her, Eugene Levy. So Mary-Kate and Ashley both get on a train to New York, and they spill food and coffee all over this poor man before they both get kicked off the train at some random stop. Sorry girls, no more trains to New York City today. Then Ashley runs into a man on a bike, and he manages to perfectly rip her skirt into a fun new look. While Mary-Kate is standing, voguing, a mysterious man slips an SD card in Mary-Kate's bag. Then Andy Richter walks up to Mary-Kate and offers her a free ride to New York City in his limo. And Andy Richter sounds like this.
All of the taxis are gone. And, you need a ride. I give you a ride.
Yes. In this movie, Andy Richter is the adopted son of a Chinese woman who runs like a music and TV piracy empire. And he doesn't have a Chinese accent. He just like pretends to have one to be cool.
Benny will be there soon, Ma.
Benny, either you talk in Chinese or you speak in English, but enough with the accent.
I'm sorry, Ma.
Listen, I said I love this movie. This choice, Don't love. And this is not the only racist choice this movie makes. Don't love that. So Mary-Kate and Ashley just get in Andy Richter's limo, because why not? And then Andy Richter traps these girls in the limo.
Ancient Chinese proverb.
Uh-oh.
Never accept ride from stranger.
But he's a very bad kidnapper and leaves the sunroof open. So the girls immediately jump out and are chased by Andy Richter into the subway. Ashley starts speaking Chinese to him because Ashley Olsen speaks Mandarin in this movie. And then Mary-Kate Olsen starts doing taekwondo and fighting Andy Richter with her drumsticks. They manage to get away when they realize, oh no, Ashley's day planner was in that guy's limo. It has her Columbia speech, her wallet, everything. Then Mary-Kate tries to give money to a homeless man, and because Ashley is a young Republican, she's like, stop that. Then Ashley immediately gets covered in slushy.
You young ladies spare some change?
Oh, yeah, here. You're only feeding this poor man's disease.
Oh,
just let him have his dollar.
No.
Snack, you know, like a granola bar. You want to...
Karma's a bitch, I guess. The girls decide that since they have no money, they're going to sneak into a fancy hotel and try and clean up before Ashley's big speech.
Now!
Once they're inside, they get a call from Andy Richter, and he's like, hey, give me the chip that has millions of dollars in pirated music, and I'll give you back the day planner.
You took my chip.
Roxy, did you eat this man's chips? No. You sure? I didn't eat his chips. I didn't eat your chips. She didn't eat your chips.
So they're like, fine, we'll get cleaned up and give the man his chip. But while they're showering, the son of the lady staying in this hotel walks in, and we get just a top-tier scene.
Hi.
Dean from Gilmore Girls is here. Complicated emotions for me because I was on season 6 of that show when I was watching this movie, and just reflexively, I saw Jared Padalecki and went, on site, Dean, on site. Before we can even process what's happening, the dog in this hotel room eats the chip. He eats hot chip and lye. The girls and Dean then just start throwing the dog back and forth until they accidentally throw this dog out the window.
Ow! Billy, you take him.
The dog is fine, but Mary-Kate and Ashley need to crawl alongside this building to try and get the dog. Meanwhile, Dean's mom, a senator, walks back in and she's like, Dean, where is my dog? And Dean is like, groomers. I took your dog to the groomers. Everything is fine. Meanwhile, the Olsens fall off the side of the building with the dog. And Ashley takes this moment to be like, you know what? Let's split up. Mary-Kate, you are slowing me down. I will meet this criminal who tried to kidnap us all by myself, and you can go ahead to your Simple Plan music video. And Mary-Kate is like, well, I do love Simple Plan. Mary-Kate goes to the Simple Plan shoot and hands the music execs hanging around some of her CDs. She is not letting a day like today slow her networking grind. Meanwhile, Dean heard these two were going to the Simple Plan shoot, and he shows up. And Eugene Levy is there to get Mary-Kate. This is a high drama situation, and it is all being played out to Vacation by Simple Plan. Meanwhile, Ashley goes to meet Andy Richter and is like, hey, so the dog ate your chip. Here you go. But then she's like, wait, don't hurt the dog. I never expected this criminal who tried to kidnap me would hurt the dog to get the chip. So she too ends up at the Simple Plan music video. So while Eugene Levy and Andy Richter are chasing these twins all over the stage, Simple Plan is continuing to give the performance of their lives. They are nothing if not professional. The girls manage to escape to the sewers, but Andy Richter kidnaps Dean. It's getting serious, y'all. Mary-Kate and Ashley have a heart-to-heart while walking through the poop water.
We haven't spent the day together in years, and today has made me realize how much I've missed that.
And then they get out of the sewer. And then they walk into a black barbershop and make this comment.
Can I help you?
We are so not in Kansas anymore.
Now these lovely people give Mary-Kate and Ashley a makeover. They do their hair, they give them fresh clothes, all for free. Just as Mary-Kate and Ashley are leaving, Eugene Levy hijacks a Midwestern couple's RV who is just having the time of their lives as he chases Mary-Kate and Ashley in a taxi which Mary-Kate and Ashley stole with the man from the train earlier inside. They will not let this man rest. They somehow manage to escape Eugene Levy, but now Ashley has really had it. She is sick of Mary-Kate getting in her way, and now for real, she is going to go back to Andy Richter and get her speech back so she can get this Columbia Fellowship and get as far away from Mary-Kate as possible. But of course, Ashley immediately gets kidnapped.
Let's have it.
You finished?
It's almost like that's what Andy Richter has been doing this entire movie. We then, of course, get another racist scene where they joke about Chinese people eating dogs before Ashley escapes. Ashley runs into the bike boy from before, and she's like, "Get me to Columbia, stat." And he does this.
Hey, what are you doing?
Sorry.
Are you crazy?
Efficient, I'll say that. Meanwhile, Mary-Kate finds Dean in the trunk of the limo from earlier and is like, "Dean, you silly goose, what are you doing in the trunk?"
Help me!
Hello?
Roxy?
Trey?
Yeah.
What are you doing in there?
Dean has ended up with the day planner with Ashley's speech from the limo, and Mary-Kate and Dean are like, all right, well, let's head to Columbia so that we can give her her speech. But then they get to Columbia and they realize, oh shit, Ashley isn't here. So Mary-Kate decides that she is going to step up and pretend to be her sister and give the speech. But right before Mary-Kate gets up to give the speech, she of course drops Ashley's note cards. So she is going to have to make up this speech on her own. And Mary-Kate is nothing if not a gifted improviser.
For as the famous Canadian professor Avril Lavigne Steen once said, and I quote, "Why'd you have to go and make things so complicated?"
But then, suddenly, everyone shows up. Eugene Levy is there with his two Midwestern tourists who, for some reason, think that the speech at Columbia is a Broadway play.
Let's go!
I think it started.
Doesn't look like cats.
He just won't stop following me. Ashley and the dog are running around. Andy Richter is chasing them. The senator whose dog they've kidnapped is chasing them and is like, what is happening? Mary-Kate is like, you know what? I will tell you what's happening. Eugene Levy has been saving us all day from this criminal mastermind Andy Richter. Right, Eugene Levy? This cop Eugene Levy is like, absolutely. I am the hero today, for sure. Then as Mary-Kate and Ashley walk out, the guy who they've been assaulting all day comes out and is like, hey, Ashley, I read your speech from the notes on the floor. That speech, if you'd given it, would have been the most incredible speech I've ever heard. Then we time jump to a few months later. Mary-Kate is jamming out with her band, who have now been signed by a major record label. Ashley is about to leave for Oxford, and Bike Boy tells her that he's going to move to England to be with her. And Dean, of course, is tagging along for Mary-Kate's Europe tour. And that is how New York Minute ends. I really wonder what would have happened if this movie had been successful, but I have to assume that now that they were 18, their teen idol status was already fading. Which is crazy. And in a weird way, it's probably a good thing that this movie flopped because it was the last time that these two appeared on screen together. They were both in a few small roles after this before quitting acting altogether. And in more recent times when they have spoken about these movies, about this time of their lives, it doesn't seem like this whole franchise was a thing that they remember super fondly. And they've said very clearly that they wouldn't wish their childhood on anyone. And I don't blame them for feeling that way. Having to constantly play fictional versions of yourselves based on what adults thought you were for your entire childhood, having to deal with creepy men sexualizing them, not getting a chance to be normal kids for even a second, it's a lot for someone to go through. My memory card got filled up at the end of that shot, and I thought for some reason that I had finished my thought, but clearly I didn't. The last thing I was going to say in that section was, even though the Mary-Kate and Ashley franchise is something I think a lot of us really hold fondly, and it's super fun to look back on, at the end of the day, I am happy that at least Mary-Kate and Ashley got to walk away from it on their own terms. And, you know, they have a very successful fashion company now. They live much more private lives, and I just hope both of them are doing well. So again, feel free to roast all of my horrific movie opinions in the comments. And as usual, if you want to see more from me, I am streaming on Twitch a couple times a week, or you can go to my Patreon where I upload a monthly bonus video. And if you don't want to do any of that, totally cool. You could, however, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye!